Now that we saved our Rhino drawing into an Illustrator file, all we have to do is say open. And when we open, we're going to find our scale drawing or floor plan scale. We do have the full size, but that'll bring us a full size drawing into a little piece of paper. So I really don't want to do that. The best way would probably be to scale the drawing before you bring it into Illustrator, because Illustrator really works with kind of like a real paper size. Okay, we did show you in other videos that you can bring a full-size scale. You just have to change the scale before you bring the stuff in. But let's just go on with the full floor plan that is the scale sized already. So when I select that file and open it, that'll pop up right there. I know that because I've taken this thing and the last Illustrator file that I worked on is a 11 by 8.5 sheet. That's what it gave me. If I worked on it some other way or some other size, it would have shown that. But we could all simply change this thing. I did make one error right here, is that I do have that path of the circle and square when I made it in Rhino. But I did realize that I saved that color as white. Okay, and that white is really not going to show on a white piece of paper. See that? So I'm going to change this thing right here. Take this thing and change it into, let's see, something that is black, I guess. Oops, let's flip it so that the stroke is black and the inside there is no fill. And when I do that, yep, there's a black line and no fill. Okay, but what I'm trying to do, that's a little bit of diversion, but what I'm trying to do is to take this thing and move it on over. Since it does have a border right there, I could just match the border up with the border of the paper or the artboard that we used in Illustrator. That's one way to make sure that the size of the paper that you selected and the size of the drawings that you scaled is basically relatively the same. Okay, this line right here is in the default, I believe. Yeah, so I may or may not want to print that. So if I put that as a 0 line weight, if I put 0 in here, then it would never print. Okay, so I could do that, or for now I'm just going to leave this as is right now because I don't need that. Okay, what I want to what I want to explain to you is that when we set the layers as the line thickness, we have here super thick, thick. Oh, we don't have a thick here because there was nothing that was made thick in that line, and when we import it in, there's nothing thick. So there it is. If we select just the super thick object, it just selected all these for me. I could change the stroke color to black. Right? Oops, wrong one. I could change the stroke color to black. Okay, fill color I'm not going to use right now. So there it is. I have a black line. Okay, I can right now, if I just select all of the layer right there, I could change the line weight. So from a 1 point, I'm going to change it to a 2 point. You'll have to figure out what exactly the appropriate line thickness would be. Okay, let's select the medium, which is this guy right here, or like I said before, we could always select everything in that layer if you had other thing in that layer that is of the same size or same. So this one I'm going to change it to black as well. With no fill. And there it is. I could change that line weight to maybe 0.75. Okay, this guy right here is going to be my thin, right? Or I could select everything in that layer is thin, and then select Let's make that into a black line as well, with no fill at this time. And change the line weights to 0.25. Alright, so there I've set different line weights in Illustrator. And these guys right here, I don't think it matters right now what it exactly is, because we'll use that in another demonstration. It could be a table, it could be a chair, it could be anything. But yeah. Okay. I'm going to add a line right here, and I'm going to go into the super thin layer and change the super thin, change that to 0.02 as well. And while I am in super thin layer, I am going to draw a line. Okay, there it is.